taking time to view our presentation titled Setup and Transition Plan for Agencies to VAv3. This presentation will take approximately 20 minutes to view and is designed only for the current VPHIB administrators. We have divided this presentation into the following sections. In the first section, we will provide you with some information to help you understand the reason for the upcoming changes, as well as the approach we are taking to implement VAv3. In the second section, we will go over the basic computer setup information and requirements needed to access VAv3. This information will also cover how to set up the offline version used to enter in medical records that can be posted once your computer is connected back to the internet, as well as where to find information on setting up EKG devices if your agency uses these. In the third and final section, we will do an overview of the agency transition checklist form and spreadsheet, including a VPHIB report to assist with user setups. The purpose for this is to change data reporting formats from NMSIS version 2 to NMSIS version 3. These changes are in response to federal mandates, which all 50 states are in the process of implementing. Version 3 has the ability to collect over 3 times the information that version 2 could collect. Due to this, most vendors chose to develop new applications rather than try and update existing ones. For the training part of this transition, we are utilizing the train the trainer concept. Our goal is to help you become familiar with the overall functionality of this new application so that you can then train your providers and staff members. We hope that this transition will be minimal since everyone is already familiar with electronic reporting. To assist agencies with this transition, we have created additional training videos like the one you are watching. These videos cover setup and use of the program for both administrators and providers, as well as an overview of the new electronic medical report form. Additionally, we have created a detailed checklist covering recommendations for training, setup information to review, and items that you can set up to enhance your use of VAv3. You will sometimes hear VAv3 referred to as version 3 or image trend delete. Don't get confused. They are all the same. For our training and transition purposes, we are going to refer to the new system as VAv3 and the current system as VPHIB. Since VPHIB programs were developed by ImageTrend, the state decided to stay with the same vendor. This helps in the fact that, where possible, terminology and functionality are the same. VAv3 is a browser-based application. The browsers that are currently supported are Internet Explorer 10 or higher, the newest version of Chrome, the newest version of Firefox, and for those of you using Apple devices, the newest version of Safari. As a note, ImageTrend told us that their engineers have been using Chrome as the primary browser during their development process. Due to this, Chrome, while not required since other browsers are supported, is recommended. Be sure to check with your internal IT resources for any local policy requirements regarding browser access. For the most up-to-date information on what is supported, go to imagetrend.com and select System Requirements under Support as shown here. Once on this page, choose Image Trend Delete to obtain the latest information about system requirements for VAv3. Please note that Windows XP and Windows Vista are not supported for VAv3. You can use the following website to access VAv3 for training. The website is www.imagetrenddelete.com/elite. To access the training agency, you will need to obtain the login information from your VPHIB administrator. If you are the VPHIB administrator, please contact us here at the Office of EMS for your login information to access the training agency. The agency number for all training accounts issued is 5000. While logged into the training agency, please be sure to use 5000 when prompted if you set up any items here. Feel free to add anything that you want or need to under this training agency for training your providers and staff members. We only ask that you refrain from making any changes to items under the training agency, since other agencies may be using these for training their staff members. We recommend setting up access to VAv3 by either bookmarking the needed websites or creating desktop icons to start the application. To help, we are going to illustrate this process for you. The website information you're about to see is listed on the checklist, so you don't need to write it down. First, you will need to decide on which of the supported browser programs to use. For this demonstration, we are going to use Chrome. Now I am going to bring up the website to access the online version of VAv3. As with most other websites, the name is not case sensitive. Here I'll point something out. Being prompted for the organizational ID is purely optional. If we use this web address, the user is prompted to enter in the organization ID. If we use this other web address, the user is only prompted to enter in the username and password. It's up to you if you want to have this additional level of security. The organizational ID for all agencies is Virginia. The web address for both choices is found on the transition checklist. Once the site comes up, I'll click on this option to open the menu, then I'll go to Bookmarks, and finally I'll select Bookmark this page. For the name, I'm going to enter in VAv3 Online Sign-In. Bookmarks bar should be the default choice in the folder selection. If not, select this so that the site name will show up in the browser window. Now I'll click on Done. Notice that the site is now bookmarked on the browser screen. Now I am going to window the screen and illustrate creating an icon. If you choose to do this, simply click here, press and hold the left mouse button down, and drag the site over. It automatically creates the icon. To rename it, right-click on the icon, choose Rename, and enter in a more descriptive name such as VAv3 Online Sign-In. Follow the same process to create bookmarks and desktop icons to access the offline version of VAv3. The only difference is the website address, which is listed on the agency checklist form. This should be set up on computers that will be used in the field or the ones that you currently have FieldBridge installed on. As with the online website, being prompted for the organization ID when logging in offline is also optional. Using this web address, the user is prompted to enter in the organization ID. Using this other web address, the user is only prompted to enter in the username and password. Again, it's up to you if you want to have this additional level of security. And as with the online website, the organization ID for all agencies using the offline website is Virginia. Both offline website choices are listed on the transition checklist. We recommend renaming the bookmark or icon to VAv3 Field Sign-In. If you do choose to create both bookmarks and icons, we recommend that you use the same name for both as we have done here, just to avoid confusion. One important thing to notice is that the online sign-in screen has an orange border, while the VAv3 Field Sign-In screen has a blue border. Keep this in mind if someone is having problems trying to log in. VAv3 Online works only when the computer is connected to the Internet. VAv3 Field Sign-In will work either way. You will use VAv3 Field when you are out in the field entering in patient information and there is no Internet connection. When you do have a connection, you will use VAv3 Field to post those medical records created when there was no Internet connection. Basically, VAv3 Field works just like the FieldBridge program that you use today. If you choose to use another browser to set up these bookmarks and desktop icons, the process may work slightly different, but the premise is the same. If you have any issues setting these up, check with your IT personnel or contact us here at the Office of EMS and we'll see if we can assist. Like FieldBridge, the VAv3 Field application has to be connected to the Internet in order to receive updates to the program as well as post records. Once you've created your access to VAv3 Field, be sure to log in while connected to the Internet the first time in order to finish setting this up. Let me demonstrate. With the site up, I'll enter in the organizational ID, my username, my password, and then I'll click on Sign In. At this point, the application will begin to download the files needed to run offline. Once the syncing process has finished, the computer is now ready to be used offline. If the download process does not start after about a minute, click on Settings and select Sync Resources to manually start the process. If you happen to get or receive an error during the sync process, try it again. Agencies with slower internet connections will sometimes need to try a few times since the program is downloading a lot of information. There are two other items I want to point out in regards to logging in. If your VAv3 administrator includes the organizational ID in the web address like this, you will only be prompted to enter in your username and password. Also, notice the small red X that appears. If you hover over it, it states that the username is not recognized on this device. Offline sign-in attempts will fail. If a green check mark appears like this, the message changes and states that the username is recognized on this device. Offline attempts may succeed. Basically, what this means is that if there's a red X, the system is not recognizing the username and is not going to let you log into the offline version. There are two primary reasons that this may occur. First, the username may simply be misspelled. Be sure to check that first. If, on the other hand, the user has not logged into that device before and you have confirmed the spelling is correct, it may mean that the computer was not synchronized after the account was created or associated with the agency. Remember that all account information has to be cached into the browser program before a user can log in when the computer is offline. This happens during the synchronization process we saw earlier. After the computer or tablet is synchronized, have the user try logging in again. If they still have issues logging in even after this, check the account or have the VAv3 administrator check the account to make sure that it is set up correctly and that the computer is synchronized properly. For those agencies that interface their EKG devices, go to the Help University section under Community when logged into the online version and search for EKG. How to access this section is covered in the Admin Overview video. Even though there is a lot of duplication here, be sure to read through these two sections to see the basic setup information. Then search for your monitor brand to see specific information regarding your device. I'm using Zoll in this example. If additional assistance is needed, contact ImageTrend Support directly as they currently provide all support for EKG setups. We have put together what we feel is a very comprehensive training and transition package that you can use. This should help with the actions you need to take in order for your agency's transition to VAv3 to go as smoothly as possible. This package is designed around a 60-day transition time frame. While some, if not most agencies, will not require this much time, it was designed to make the transition less stressful. The package we put together contains the following: a document that describes each of the actions to be addressed. These are things like computer setup task, training recommendations that cover the viewing of the training videos, the creating of practice accounts under the training agency, and the entry of practice medical records, as well as how they should be labeled to help you as the administrator expedite the review process. We also include a list of setup tasks that will need to be done in VAv3, along with a list of items to review that have already been set up. The next item is a timeline spreadsheet. This spreadsheet contains a list of all of the actionable items that will need to be addressed. We have created the spreadsheet so that when you enter in the date that you want to begin using VAv3, the setup items listed will fill in with dates prior to that date. This should help you schedule when to begin and finish each task. For example, if you want to begin using VAv3 on September the 1st, enter in 09/01/2015 in the marked cell like this, and all of the other items below will fill in with a date range prior to this. We put in date ranges that should be more than adequate to perform each task, and placed a column so that each item could be assigned to other admins if needed, and checked off when completed. On the second tab of the spreadsheet, we have included a list of actions that providers and staff members need to do. You just need to fill in the individual names, and then you can track who has done what. Its use is quite simple. Once an individual informs you that a task has been completed, click in the box and select Yes. The box changes from red to green. If the individual does not need to perform the training action, such as providers viewing the video you're currently watching, click in the box and select NA. The box changes from red to white. It's a good visual aid since any box in red indicates that a task has not yet been completed. Again, all of this is to help make sure that everyone is trained, has practice, and is ready to go once your agency makes the switch. You will also notice on the document and spreadsheet that we have included some action items to take after you begin using VAv3. We felt these were important to include to help ensure all agencies get off to a great start with both use of the system and the quality of information being reported. While you're not required to use either the checklist or the spreadsheet, we wanted to offer as much assistance as possible in this package to help you with your transition. Another item that is part of this package is the VAv3 Data Dictionary. Anytime there's a question about what can or cannot be entered into a record, refer to this document. For example, there are many more patient dispositions in VAv3 than there were in version 2. The Data Dictionary provides a detailed description of those beginning on page 282 and going through page 285. Again, anytime you're not sure about something, refer to this document. If we decide or discover that other items should be included in this package, we'll be sure to document how those can benefit you during the transition. Since VAv3 administrators will need to set up all of the user accounts, we have created a report in VPHIB that you can run to assist with this. This report, when opened in a spreadsheet, will provide you with all of the available user information in VPHIB that can be set up in VAv3. For those of you that may not be up to speed on running reports in VPHIB, here's a quick demonstration on how to run this report. We'll pick up on this after logging into VPHIB. First, select More and choose Report Writer 2.0. Now scroll down the list and select the Staff Reports folder. In this folder, select VPHIB Users. Once the different tabs come up, select Generate Report. Depending upon the size of your agency and your internet connection, this could take a minute or two. Once the information comes up on the screen, scroll over to the far right like this and choose Export. So that the information can be viewed in a spreadsheet, select the comma-separated or CSV option. At this point, the process may be different than what you're seeing here depending on which browser you use to log into VPHIB. As a note, I'm using Chrome. Once CSV is selected, the information will be downloaded in a file format that can be opened using a spreadsheet program like Excel or OpenOffice. This is designed so that the information is displayed across the spreadsheet in the order that you would need to enter this into VAv3 when setting up users. The one item that this doesn't contain are user passwords. However, all users will be required to reset their passwords the first time they log in under their individual accounts into VAv3. Due to this, we recommend creating a couple of generic passwords like pass1 or pass2 or something similar, and using those on each account since this initial password is only temporary. The process for setting up user accounts is covered in the Admin Overview video. Well, that's it for this video presentation. Should you need any assistance with any of the setup items or have questions that were not covered in this video presentation, please contact the Office of EMS using the contact information shown here, and we'll be more than glad to assist. Thanks for taking the time to view this video presentation, and we hope you have a pleasant day.